Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, we're exploring the deep esoteric meanings of the verses of the Quran. Part 2, due to popular request from the first video. It's one of those books where every verse has several layers of meanings hidden between the lines. And I brought here my personal copy of the Quran. Without further ado, let's get started. So first off, we're going to start with Surah Al-Baqarah, Ayat 115. And to Allah belongs the east and the west. So wherever you turn, there is the face of Allah. Surely Allah is all sufficient for his creatures' needs, all-knowing. So at first glimpse, what God is describing for us is a poetic way of expressing the concept of God's omnipresence. It suggests that God is present everywhere and in everything, implying a universal divine presence. And this is true, but let's dive a little deeper here. Everyone has heard of the 99 names of Allah, but most people don't think much of them and just think of them as his names / attributes, and that's it. But it's far deeper than that. What the names really are aspects of God we interact with, manifesting through reality during our time on earth. For example, one day you may interact with the Ar-Rahman aspect of God, the merciful. When someone gives you mercy and helps you out of a dire situation, this is God's mercy, his Rahman, interacting with you through this person. Another one you may experience is Al-Karim, the most generous. You may wake up one day and unexpectedly receive money in your bank. This is Allah's Kareem interacting with you in real life, in real time, helping you when you needed it the most. At some point, either in this life and or the afterlife, you will experience and comprehend each and every one of these 99 names of Allah, inshallah, Lord willing. Surah Al-Hijr, Ayat 36 through 40. Satan said, "O my Lord, give me respite till the day they will be resurrected." Allah said, "Then verily you are one of those reprieved till the day of appointed." Satan responded, "O my Lord, because you misled me, I shall indeed adorn the path of error for them, mankind, on the earth, and I shall mislead them all, except your chosen servants among them." This is the dialogue between Iblis and God, when God sends him to be cursed and damned for all eternity, for being too prideful to bow down to Adam. Satan asked for extra time, and when God granted him this request, because he was so spiteful, he told God he would adorn, meaning make attractive, the path of error for humanity, to lead all of humanity astray and take mankind to hell with him, except God's chosen guided people. Now, let's break this down. When Satan says, make beautiful the path of error, I want you to think about the world we live in. Think about how attractive sin looks to the average person. He makes drinking alcohol seem high class, makes smoking marijuana seem cool and edgy, makes casual sex seem liberating and calls it sexual freedom, has convinced women killing their unborn child is an acceptable form of birth control. These days, has even convinced the world homosexuality is okay and being against it is evil. Now, how has he done this exactly? Through the music, movies, and television. These forms of media glorify all these sins, and the masses accept them as if they are no big deal, not realizing these acts will ultimately lead to their damnation. He finished off the surah with another equally powerful statement, "Except your chosen people among them." What this means is that a select hand-chosen amount of men and women from every nation are chosen by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so they don't fall for any of it. They see through the facade, they see through the act, and in fact, their awareness of his tactics brings them that much closer to Allah. They no longer want to party, they lose interest in materialism, and want to spend all their time getting closer to God. You know, there's a saying that I really love. It goes, when God chooses you, you no longer belong to the world, you belong to him. And this is so true. When you become a chosen one of God, you're no longer a person of the world. You're a person of Jannah. Surah Fussilat, Ayat 53. We will show them our signs in the universe and within themselves until it becomes clear to them that this Quran is the truth. So God is telling us here that he shows every human being signs in the universe, i.e. the physical realm. So this includes synchronicities, miracles, and chance encounters with strangers that seem to guide us back to him. God is also telling us that he will show us signs within ourselves, meaning the spiritual realm. This includes dreams, visions, and revelations about creation. and the truth that can only come from God himself. Surah Al-Furqan, Ayat 53. And he is the one who merges the two bodies of water, one fresh and palatable, and the other salty and bitter, placing between them a barrier they cannot cross. So not only is this a scientific fact, but this is also an allusion to the spirituality of the physical realm and the spiritual realm being two distinct realms that are divided by a liminal barrier known as the barzakh. The barzakh is sort of like a demilitarized zone where two sides can meet, but it doesn't go further than that. This is the realm where souls that have recently passed away reside, awaiting judgment day, as well as the realm where souls about to be born reside, awaiting to take their first breaths and meet their loved ones. Sometimes, through the will of Allah, He allows people to meet their deceased loved ones in the barzakh while they sleep. He also sometimes allows parents to meet their future children in the barzakh, an immensely joyous moment, as you can imagine. Surah An-Naml, Ayat 86. Do they not see that we made the night for them, to rest in, and the day bright? Surely in this are signs for those who believe. So God is cluing you in to think deeply on this verse. What God is telling us is the structure of life itself. Everything in the universe is a microfractal of the macro structure. What do I mean by this? God is telling us that He made the night to rest therein and the day for sight giving. He's comparing the structure of a 24-hour cycle to the cycle of a human life. During the nighttime, while our body rests, our soul leaves our body to wherever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to take it for the night. Many scholars call this the mini-death, for it is a very similar process to real death, only difference being it is temporary and not as intense, since our soul is technically still attached to our body. Death can be compared to the nighttime, for this is our time of rest before being resurrected for judgment, and the day was created for sight-giving. This is what life is. We are given 5 senses, sight, hearing, taste, touch, and smell, to live this reality for our appointed term, to fulfill whatever qadr, whatever destiny Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has planned for our life. Surah An-Nur, Ayat 40. Or they are like darkness within an unfathomable sea, which is covered by waves, upon which are waves, over which are clouds, darknesses, some of them upon others. When one puts his hand therein, he can hardly see it. And he to whom Allah has not granted light, for him there is no light. So this ayat describes the profound spiritual darkness of those without divine guidance, using the vivid imagery of layers of darkness in the deep ocean, where even extending the hand reveals nothing, symbolizing their inability to perceive truth without Allah's light. Let's break this down a little bit further. Or they are like darkness within an unfathomable sea, which is covered by waves, upon which are waves, over which are clouds, darknesses, some of them upon others. So this describes overwhelming layered darkness, making it impossible to see. When one puts his hand therein, he can hardly see it. This emphasizes the total lack of visibility and clarity. These type of people cannot see the truth, even though it's right in their faces. Like, even if you were to point it out, they would still not see it. They are shrouded in divine darkness. And he to whom Allah has not granted light, for him there is no light. This concludes that true spiritual illumination comes only from God, and without it, one remains in perpetual darkness. Surah Al-Ma'idah, Ayat 32. Whoever takes a life, unless as a punishment for murder or mischief in the land, it will be as if they killed all of humanity. And whoever saves a life, it will be as if they saved all of humanity. So there's several layers to this. It's very beautiful. This is, like, you know, if someone ever hates on Islam, guys, show them this verse. This verse, off the bat, just proves how sacred we as Muslims view life. You know, there's no rebuttal to this verse. Now, what exactly is this verse saying? What are the meanings behind this verse? What is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala trying to tell us here? When it comes down to society, the survival of human life depends on everyone respecting other human beings and contributing actively to the survival and protection of others. Whoever kills unrighteously is thus not merely guilty of doing wrong to one single person, but proves by his act that his heart is devoid of respect for human life and of sympathy of the human species as such. Such a person, therefore, is an enemy to all of mankind. This is so because he happens to be possessed of a quality where it to become common among all men would lead to this destruction of the entire human race. Now, the person who helps to preserve the life of even one person, on the other hand, is a protector of the whole of humanity, for he possesses a quality which is indispensable to the survival of mankind. Now, that's one of the meanings. Another equally as deep, if not deeper meaning, is that we all come from the oneness of Allah, as mentioned in the Quran. When you take away someone's life, it's as if you're taking away the life of the entirety of mankind, for we all come from the same source, God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, the same is true the other way around. If you save the life of a person, it's as if you saved all of humanity, for we all come from the oneness of Allah. A good analogy I like to use is if you take a look at islands, for example. What is an island? It's a piece of land surrounded by water. Many times these islands are surrounded by hundreds, if not thousands of other islands. From the surface, they all appear to be separate, but if you look under the water, they're all connected to the same large piece of land. This is exactly what we are, guys. We appear separated from other people, but in reality, our souls are all interconnected together from the same source, Allah. Thank you for watching. God bless you. Peace.